Hey man, some quick advice from a young guy that did a lot of work, and I've been trying to grow myself throughout the years. Basically, you shouldn't fall into the trap of attempting to do every good habit at the same time. I think what you need to do, what happened to me, right? Um, when I was depressed, I was like the basic story, depressed, sad, meaningless, just playing video games all day. Everyone knows the story. Everyone that has this period. And all my life, I was working out, and just randomly one year, I just didn't work out. And I stumbled upon Hamza, and I started doing all the good habits that he said: meditate, journaling. Other people say wake up early. Some people say work 10 hours a day. Other people say you need to touch grass. Other people say you need to drink water with salt. Other people say you need to drink water with salt and lemon. Other people say you need to eat eggs. And there's all of this big bubble of advice that a beginner, like I was, like you are probably, I don't know, I guess, maybe if you're not. Anyway, like this big bubble of good habits you need to do, right? And I do agree, you should meditate. Like meditation has like the purpose of it is to improve your health. It's like saying cut out sugar. There is a reason. Even if you're fit, even if you're healthy, you need to cut out sugar if it's in an excessive amount, because there is a purpose behind it. You know that the moment you cut it out, you're going to immediately feel better. So I agree with the general advice of meditate, journal, go to the gym, of course. Speak to girls, yeah, but like the more niche advice, and when I say niche, it's like the harder advice, and the advice that doesn't have an immediate reward. You should think before doing it. Like, what I mean is, I don't mean that if it doesn't have an immediate reward, you shouldn't do it, because like meditation doesn't have an immediate reward, or cold showers don't have an immediate reward, or journaling doesn't have an immediate reward. You have to do it in long term. But for example, waking up early, the purpose of it is that there's no distractions, no one is awake at that time, and no one is there to disturb you and your time on your computer, on your work. So waking up early is really healthy and has a lot of benefits. If you have work to do, if you wake up early and you have nothing to do, and to wake up early, for example, at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., because Hamza said so, or another YouTuber said so, Iman Gaji said so, I don't know, anywhere. Because if you do it because X said so, you're gonna wake up early. Probably, if you have a girlfriend, your girlfriend's gonna be a bit sad. You had to go to sleep at 9 p.m. and you couldn't spend time with her. Your friends are gonna be sad because you didn't spend time with them, You are gonna be maybe sad, maybe taken aback because, okay, I made these people sad. And then you wake up, you take the discipline, and that's the good thing about waking up early. You need a lot of discipline. So you wake up early, you get out of bed, because it's very hard to get out of bed early in the morning. I struggle with it a lot. So if you do it, I'm very proud of you. Good job, man, right? But get out of bed, right? And now what? You made your girlfriend sad, your friends sad, and now it's 5 a.m. and you have nothing to do. It's okay. No one's awake. Okay. Outside is barely any sun. Okay. And there's no work to do. You don't have any work. You don't have any purpose. And if you wake up early without any specific work you have to do, there's no reason to wake up early. Because at the end of the day, if you wake up early, you're taking time out of your day when there wasn't like any problems with your daily schedule. If there were any problems, like if you think that you should have done this change, then this scenario doesn't apply to you, of course. But if you just did it because X said so, without having any plans, without having any structure, without having any work, like fuck the structure, fuck the plans. If you don't have any work to do early in the morning when you wake up, what's the purpose of waking up early? And that's what I want to get into. If you wake up, not to wake up, if you hear about a good habit you should follow, if you hear about a good habit you should do, right? Like, let's say, yeah, as I explained now, like waking up early. If you have this good habit that a YouTuber you love said you need to do, it's good to think about it, to take a moment to process, do I really need this, before implementing it into your daily life. Because, for example, Alex Hermosi has made hundreds of millions and he doesn't meditate. He takes nicotine and coffee the moment he wakes up and just goes to work. Maybe this isn't the program for you, maybe you don't want to work 14 hours a day with nicotine and coffee the moment you wake up. Don't do it then. If you can't find the purpose, or if you try this, and if you think, I can't find any negatives of attempting this, attempt it, and when you find the negatives, for example, I'm working 14 hours a day and my work loses quality because when you work 14 hours a day, at some point between those 14 hours, your brain is like, fuck, I'm tired. I cannot make these connections anymore and I cannot think properly because I'm tired. So when that happens, when the negatives are bigger than the positives, you should not do the fucking activity, right? And if you there's always this part of your brain that thinks logically and is harsh against you, like, for example, when I was addicted to TikTok, I had this part of the brain that said, I know if I delete this application, I will be happy, I will be more focused, everything will get better. And there was another part of my brain that said, yeah, but I don't wanna, like the bitch part, You can decipher between those two. You can, when one part of the brain is speaking and when the other part of the brain is speaking. So when you realize the distinction between those two, you listen to the logical and rational part of your brain, and you hear its advice, and that part of the brain says, okay, I think this action is gonna be good. I think this action is not gonna be good. I think this action is gonna be mid, and then you analyze it. Then you can decipher if you wanna actually do the action, the good habit, or not. So, like, I think the key takeaway, because I'm yapping a bit too much and I'm getting off track, is when you see any advice and any habit, anything that self-improvement YouTuber or TikToker or whatever the fuck, if you see any advice that says you need to 100,000% you have to implement this one life hack and with this one habit, think before you implement anything. And it's like such a duh advice, like duh, of course I need to think before implementing, but it's not that much of a common sense. Many people, like me too, all of us, like, hear self-improvement YouTubers and we're like, this advice helped them, yeah, I need to implement this. Think before you implement. If you're unsure if this is good or bad, do a test period where you test if this thing is good or not, and after, like, let's say 1 week, when you test it out, or 1 month, for example, I don't know, you set the test period, after that specific period you found and you set, if this new activity is bad or if it's good, you either implement or say this is not for me. You know, habits are supposed to help you, not make your life harder. So please choose them carefully, you know. You don't want them to take away from important things in your life, like work.